Good morning, everybody. Welcome to City Hall, welcome to Council Chambers, and welcome to a meeting of the Los Angeles City Council for today, Wednesday, August 3rd, 2005. City Council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Meetings are open to the public, and we do invite you to join us. For members of the public unable to attend council meetings, we can be viewed live on your cable station, Channel 35. We can also be viewed live via webcast from the city's homepage or heard via council phone. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Cardenas, Garcetti, Grohl, Hahn, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Stein, Padilla. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The council is officially in session. First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Reyes moves. Mr. Weiss seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Perry moves and Mr. Rosendahl seconds.
Mr. President, this is a time for comments from the public on items not on council's agenda.
And colleagues, at this time, I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on matters within our jurisdiction. General public comment for today is now closed. Next item.
First items on the agenda are items noticed for public hearings. Items 1 through 4 are street lighting matters, and the recommendation for council action is to open the hearing and continue the hearings and ordinances to September 6th.
Members, items 1 through 4 now before us, and I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these items. Public hearing is open, and without objection, continue to September 6th.
Next item is item number 5. That's also a public hearing item. It's a street vacation in Council District 9, and if there are no protests, council should instruct the city engineer to proceed.
Okay, item 5 now before us, and again, I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these items. On this item, public hearing is open and closed, and if there's no discussion on this item, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. Next items.
Next items are items for which public hearings have been held, items 6 through 42.
Numbers 6 through 42 now before us. Public hearings have been held on these items in committee. A motion from the floor be required to reopen the public hearings. Colleagues, items 6 through 42. Do we have any specials? Colleagues, items 6 through 42. If not, then before opening the roll, colleagues, if you recall, item 15 is an item that was considered a week ago. It is an ordinance. We did take a first reading vote on it. We didn't have 12 members present at the time, so it does carry over for a second reading. It's also an item that we had somewhat of a public comment after the council's action. We do have some speaker cards that have been submitted today. Is it the desire of the body to reopen the public hearing? There was some significant discussion last week. Colleagues, item 15. Mr. Garcetti.
Can we continue item 37 for Mr. Parks until Tuesday?
Any objection to continuing item 37? If not, then that item is continued. Let's go ahead and call 15 special, and we'll reopen the public hearing. Any other specials, colleagues, or requests to continue? Mr. Labange?
On this particular item, what's the before us on this item here?
This is items 6 through 42. We're calling specials right now.
15 is just up there now, so
Yeah.
it's called special?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other specials, colleagues? Seeing none, on the balance of the items, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Those items are approved. Item 7 is an ordinance and carries over for a second reading. And Madam Clerk, item 14 has an urgency clause. We do not have the 12 votes today.
Yes, and that would make the urgency clause not operative.
Next items, please.
Next items are items for which public hearings have not been held, items 43 through 69. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay. Members, items 43 through 69 now before us, and I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these items. Public hearings are open and closed. Shh. Sergeants, if I can ask for your help, please, and keeping it quiet behind the horseshoe. Colleagues, any specials on items 43 through 69? Mr. Labange.
Getting back into the thick of things. 14th, forthwith.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any specials on items 43 through 69? If none, let's open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Those are approved. Colleagues, items 70 through 73 are closed session items. We'll hold those on the desk. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Next item is item 74, and that was continued from yesterday's meeting, and that's, public hearing has been held.
Okay, public hearing has been held on item 74. Mr. Rosendahl calls that item special. Okay.
That would take council back to the items called special. The first item called special is item number 15.
Okay, let's go ahead and reopen the public hearing on item 15. And again, colleagues, just a reminder, this led to some significant discussion last week, and we do have speaker cards once again from Steve Afriat, John Weston, and Daniel Copeland.
Mr. President, members of the council, Stephen Afriat, representing NWI Incorporated. First, thank you for the extraordinary action to allow us this opportunity to have a public hearing on this item today. Members of the council, we are asking the council to send this item back to the Public Safety Committee so that this item can be heard with Councilman Cardenas' motion to reinstitute a distance rule at the adult entertainment establishments. As many of you recall, much of this was the subject of an agreement between the City Council and the owners, and the council revisiting this, in our view, could jeopardize that agreement, which could open up possibility of battles in the court, other referenda, which would not serve the public well. We believe by hearing these items together, the owners who have demonstrated a willingness to compromise can come up with solutions and work with the committee in a more appropriate setting to have a win-win for all concerned. We really do hope the council will consider referring this back to public safety. We know that's extraordinary at this juncture, but we think it'll be better public policy to hear all these issues at one time, and I would urge the council to support a motion to do that. Thank you for your consideration.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the council. John Weston, appearing for Coldwater LLC and New Way Ventures, Inc. I speak in opposition to item number 15. I thank you very much for allowing us to speak. The points simply are to reiterate what Mr. Afriat said a second ago. Number two, to clarify what I sought to say last week, which was, notwithstanding the fact that there may have been technical Brown Act compliance with agendaization of this matter, both in public safety and elsewhere, no one from the adult entertainment industry knew about what was going on in public safety, and the proof of that is that nobody appeared in public safety, and I, who led the opposition to the previous ordinance in support of the referendum, knew nothing about it, was not present, and did not communicate. And I tell you one more thing, that although there have been several so-called tweakings of the ordinance since it was adopted in late 2003, I had always previously been notified by the City Attorney's Office and had the opportunity to comment as to whether it was consistent with what we had previously adopted, and so that we could express our views. There was no knowledge whatsoever about it, and so I urge and exhort and humbly request this body to send the matter back to public safety so that those who participated in good faith on behalf of the regulated industry may have the opportunity to comment and to express their positions. And finally, I would suggest that the notion of potentially adopting piecemeal legislation and piecemeal changes will wreak a terrible hardship on those who have to comply sequentially, as well as those who have to enforce. I thank you very much for your kind consideration.
Next speaker, please.
Daniel Copeland, representing myself as an individual. My only concern was the timeliness and the accuracy and reporting of the process.
Okay. Thank you very much. This once again concludes public comment on this item. Colleagues, item 15 is before us. Is there any discussion? Any discussion on this item, colleagues? If not, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, that ordinance, second reading. Next item, please.
Next item, Mr. President, is item number 74, and that was called special by Councilmember Rosendahl.
Mr. Rosendahl.
Yes, Mr. President, when we spoke about this yesterday, the City Attorney's Office was still not in the loop on it. We would like a 6-month continuation of this with the opportunity to rescind it if the community feels such. There's been a lot of community concern about this, and we're doing a canvass now, talking to the community, so I want to amend it for 6 months.
Okay. Any objection? Any comments from the city attorney?
Just a clarification on the amendment, and that's rather than extending it for 12 months, it's 6 months, right?
That's
Correct?
right.
We've analyzed it, and it's legally permissible to do it less than 12 months.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, let's open the roll on the item as amended, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 eyes.
Okay, that's approved. Next item, please.
Mr. President, do you wish to clear the desk before going into closed session?
Let's do housekeeping.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Motion shall be posted and referred.
There is an excuse on the desk. Councilmember Cardenas requests to be excused Friday, September 9th, to leave at 12:15, and that does meet council policy.
Okay, that excuse is granted.
And that clears the desk for closed session.
Okay, Mr. Garcetti for an introduction.
Thank you. As an alumnus myself of the Junior Statesmen of America program, I wanted to introduce a group of folks that are here for Junior Statesmen of America program. I know many of you are able to meet with them, and they're spending July 31st to August 3rd here in the Los Angeles Civic Center, Los Angeles area high school students. If you guys would please stand up, we'd love to recognize you and welcome you to City Hall, and we look forward to seeing you as senior statesmen of America and stateswomen one day as well. So give them a round of applause and welcome the Junior Statesmen of America. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to City Hall. I know you're going to be meeting several of the council members throughout the course of the day, so enjoy. Colleagues, anything else before adjourning into closed session? If not, then in conformance with California law, the council will now adjourn into closed session. Sergeants, please clear the chambers.
Makeup, folks, the TVs are not on. Okay, the TV's on. Put the powder away.
First item before council is item number 70, and that's settlement in the case of Rosario Herman versus City of Los Angeles in the amount of $130,000, and the city attorney has a report on that also. Okay, the city attorney will report after the vote is taken.
Okay. Open the roll on that item. Announce the vote.
10 eyes.
Okay, that item is approved. Forthwith. City Attorney.
And then on item number 70, while council members were awaiting the arrival of department staff to report on that closed session matter, a brief discussion ensued regarding the mechanics of bringing department staff into council. No action was taken. The only collective concurrence was council's agreement that subject department staff needed to be present for the closed session litigation items.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move now to item number 71.
And that's settlement in the case of Abadaya versus City et al., and that's in the amount of $215,000.
Okay. Open the roll on that item. Announce the vote.
9 ayes, 1 no.
Okay, that item is approved. Now we move to item number 72.
And that's settlement in the case of Vito Tortorici, and that's a workers' comp case. Settlement $110,515 plus a life pension thereafter of $61.85 per week.
Okay, we have Councilmember Zine. Did you push your button, Mr. Zine, on item 72? 73 is okay, not on that. Okay. We're on 72. Okay, all right. We don't have any speakers on item 72. Open the roll on item 72. Announce the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, that item is approved.
And that clears the desk, Mr. President.
Okay.
Oh, and there is a special that has been introduced by Councilmember Weiss. The city attorney will speak to the findings.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll recite the facts as presented to me by the maker of the motion for the council's consideration of the adequacy of the findings. Late last week, Jose Herrera and Gustavo Porras were fatally shot. Since then, the LAPD has requested that the City Council offer a reward for the arrest and conviction of the suspects. Immediate action is required for the protection of the public. Council must first make findings pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2 before considering the substantive motion.
Okay, council members, the first vote will be a vote on the findings. Open the roll. Announce the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay. It's been approved. Now the matter that is before us. Mr. Weiss?
It's a request for a $50,000 reward for a homicide that occurred in broad daylight on Fairfax Avenue last week. Would appreciate an aye vote.
Okay. Any more comments? Seeing no speakers? Okay, we'll vote on the item before us. Open the roll. Announce the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, that item is approved.
And the desk is clear.
The desk is clear. Seeing no more items before us. Any more public comment? Seeing none. Announcements, members?
Madam President?
Mr. Labange?
Yeah. Ms. Perry, is that matter resolved? Or we need to do anything about it?
Did you say Madam?
No, on another matter.
Okay. The staff person for the council president is going to talk to the individual right now.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Labange. Councilmember Reyes.
Yes, I just wanted to rise and thank all of the committee members that came out last night for National Night Out, Rampart in particular, Northeast. But in Rampart, we had a whole city block, literally wall-to-wall folks. It was a great turnout. In Cypress Park, we marched down Cypress Avenue, and we gathered a large group of folks, letting folks know we want our streets back, that the drug dealers and the gang members are not going to control our streets. And I'm hoping next year it continues to grow. So I just want to take this moment to thank the public and the neighborhood advocates for coming out and joining us in National Night Out and showing our support for our men and women in blue. Thank you very much.
Mr. Reyes, was that gathering free of incidents? Everything went smoothly?
Very smooth. We had a strong showing of the LAPD. The fire department personnel came out as well. A strong force of the city family showing care for public safety in our neighborhoods.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reyes. Mr. Rosendahl?
I'd like to second that, Mr. President. I went to two of them last night, one in West LA in Stoner Park and another one at St. Jerome's Parish Church there in Westchester. And the number one commitment that we in the 11th District want are more resources and more police in our district. And we look forward to seeing initiatives from the mayor and the council that will give us more protection in the 11th District.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosendahl. Mr. Zine?
I also want to thank the committee members and the West Valley LAPD. They were there en masse. Police Commissioner Alan Scobin came by and visited with the about 1,000 residents from the Southwest Valley attended. They had like 1,500 hot dogs, 1,000 hamburgers. The Boy Scouts helped out. It was a real community event. Lovely weather out there at the park. So thanks to the LAPD, West Valley, and all of the volunteers that showed up to help, and all the community members that showed up, neighborhood councils, homeowners, everybody was out there. Fox 11 News came by in their helicopter and took a shot of it, along with the LAPD chopper coming by and buzzing the crowd. So it was a thrilling evening for everyone out there in the West Valley, and I think that was the experience citywide. The communities coming out, working with the local officials, LAPD, et cetera. So thanks to all. And let's continue that progress to eliminate crime from the city of Los Angeles.
Councilmember Garcetti.
Can we go forthwith on 41, please?
Forthwith on 41.
And thanks to Glassell Park, Hollywood, to the folks on the Hyperion Bridge, Tom Labange, and the Rampart folks on Temple. It was an amazing night last night. Thanks.
Okay. We also had night out at Stonehurst Park and also in Van Nuys as well. We were able to attend that. It was a wonderful turnout and a great evening. It was actually cool in the valley last night. Mr. Rosendahl, any more comments?
Mr. President, I just wanted to compliment on Night Out. It was exciting. I wasn't able to get off because I just returned that afternoon, but Mr. Garcetti and I were, along with about 300 students from John Marshall High School, along with the graduate class of 47, Jim McQuiston, who walked from the high school out to the Hyperion Bridge, where unfortunately there was a man who was raping students on the way to school. It hasn't happened the last 4 years, 3, 4 years, because he may be away. But there was a big push on that, and it was a tremendous night for National Night Out, and I know the other programs in Hollywood and other areas. I also want to thank my staff, I'm sure, who did the other areas as well. It was a very important program. And may I also add, Mr. President, for an announcement, I did return from Spokane, Washington, where the International Sister City Conference was held, where I represented our city, and I will share each and every one of you a little memo on an outlook and try to give a briefing on it. Next year is the 50th anniversary of Sister Cities International, program started by President Eisenhower, which talks about people to people, and you'll be glad to know they have a strong, sustainable development program, as well as an Islamic proposal to reach out to Western countries and others to reach out to Islamic countries for people to people, because it's all about people. And then also from there, I did travel through the Grand Coulee Dam and thank them for all the power they send this way, that great hydro plant up in Washington, and on to Vancouver. Was able to meet with city officials from our sister city of Vancouver. So I thank you. That's my report.
Don't let anybody say that Tom doesn't get around. Thank you very much, Tom, our unofficial ambassador. Okay, no more announcements. Any adjourning motions? We'll go in order of the council. To my left, no adjourning.
I just say one great thing not to adjourn for, as we close announcements, is the flight from Air France into Toronto and the crew and the captain and whatever took place there to save those people. When I was traveling yesterday, members, I was walking through an airport in Seattle when this flashed on the bar screen, thinking that everyone had vanished, when I learned later that they all walked off, some hospitalized. It's a great send, and to salute all those in the air transportation, those flight attendants and captains who try to make sure everybody gets home safely.
Okay, thank God there's no adjournings on that incident. Okay, to my left, no adjourning motions, and to my right, council members. Okay, seeing no adjourning motions. Okay, the roll, please. The roll. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.